first thing I'm going to do is make something that I call Not-Tuna Pate. It's kind of like tuna fish, but it's not really. The first thing I put in is a cup of raw sunflower seeds that I have soaked. They've been soaked for a few hours. And then a half a cup of raw almonds that I soaked overnight. Then to that I am going to add 4 tablespoons of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. 1, 2, and a little bit of sea salt. And then what I'm going to do is beat it up in my food processor until it becomes just like tuna fish. Alright, looks pretty good. Alrighty, and to this combination, I'm simply going to put it in a bowl and add what you would expect to find in tuna fish salad, which is a little bit of minced celery, a little bit of minced onion, and a little bit of minced parsley. I'm going to stir this all together, and look, it actually looks like tuna fish salad. And the thing that's so fascinating is it really kind of tastes like it too. It tastes wonderful. And it's a lovely not-tuna pate. Now the next thing we're going to do is make pesto, because that's what I'm going to layer with my tomatoes. Alrighty, for the pesto, I'm using 2 cups of well-packed basil, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, a tablespoon of crushed garlic, a ½ teaspoon of sea salt. I always rather just kind of guess at that. And 1/4 cup of pine nuts. Okay, beat that up in the blender. Get out of there. Love pine nuts. Best blender, I must admit. Perhaps we need a tiny bit more olive oil. I'm used to a far more powerful blender. I use a Vitamix at home, and this is one that I bought in a store in Thailand for, I think it was about $15. It's one of those you get what you pay for things. It's doing the job, it's just doing it very slowly down at the bottom, so it's taking me far longer than I would like making this pesto. Oh, the pesto smells so good. There are about 7 different kinds of basil in Thailand. And I'm using one that's called sweet basil. They have one that's called holy basil. Oh my goodness, holy mackerel. This is almost getting there. With a stronger blender, you could do it very quickly. I just want to make sure we get all the leaves mashed up. Okay, we have pesto. Let me put it into a little bowl here. And now what I'm going to do is make what I call a tomato stack. First I'm going to show you how I do it if I'm serving it to company. It's a very pretty dish. You can put it out on a plate. But I'll also show you how I do it when I travel, because this is a dish that I take with me a lot. It's so good and it's so easy to travel with, provided you don't need a knife and fork. All right, if I'm having company over, I'm going to take a big, beautiful tomato, like this one, and slice it. And slice it in nice chunks, nice slices. First thing I'll do is take a slice of this wonderful tomato. Let's get another one all ready. And put a layer of my Not-Tuna pate on my tomato. So we're just going to layer the tuna, or I should say the Not-Tuna, and a nice layer on the tomato. Then what we do is set the second tomato on top and top that with a layer of pesto. So we spread the pesto out on this. Oh, and it's so yummy and pretty. This is lovely, served as a side dish, you know, for a pretty dinner. And then I like to top it with alfalfa sprouts. And so I just spread the little alfalfa sprouts on top and serve this. And I have served that at many a dinner party, and people ooh and ah. Isn't that lovely? A tuna stack, a tomato stack. Okay, now, however, if I'm traveling on the road, this is a little tricky to take. It needs a knife and fork to eat, and it's wonderful at a proper dinner. So the other way I do this is I take a lot of tomatoes, as you see here, and chop them up, just dice them up, and simply do a layer of my tuna fish on top of the tomatoes. I do this sometimes in plastic containers and carry it on airplanes. It's very portable, very easy for me to have. It's also very nice to do at a buffet where people aren't sitting down and can't really eat with a knife and fork. So I put a layer of the tuna fish on top of my layer of tomatoes, cover that with a layer of the pesto, and all these yummy flavors blend together. Spread the pesto out on top. I always wish I made more pesto. I don't think I've ever made this when I didn't wish, why didn't I double the amount of pesto? Should have done that. Sorry. Because it's so, the flavors are so intense, particularly from this wonderful Thai basil. So we put this around, make a nice, spread the pesto around on top of the Not-Tuna pate, and once again, do the top layer of healthy, wonderful alfalfa sprouts. Sprouts are so good. They're a real living food because they're living and growing as we see them, and they're filled with enzymes. Really, really good for us. And so wonderful to eat in so many ways. This is a wonderful dish to take to a potluck. We're real big on doing potlucks. And of course, I always take something that's raw, whether it's a raw potluck or not. And people always say, oh, I wouldn't eat that weird stuff. And then they taste it and they go, oh, please, can I have more? So this is a lovely dish to take anywhere you go, or to just keep in the fridge as a family lunch. Isn't that pretty? Tomato stacks with Not-Tuna pate. Enjoy.